Here we are again, folks. Another live television show. Yes, this is the Kirk-O-Matic, and this is the Dream Operator. What are we going to talk about today? Well, a lot of dreams, that's what it is. Fuzzy on the line. Everybody is dreaming about things that they cannot have. We're going to go through a list. It's just going to be a list of things. Oh, there's so many things to talk about. I'd rather be going out to the lake and going swimming. That's what it is. It's live. So call me. We'll talk about all kinds of things. Last week, as you know, we had General Bystander. It was a cool show. We had all kinds of Kirk-O-Matic video art and 3 live bands. General Bystander. Who else? Anyway, we're going to have them back. It was a firebox. It was kind of a retro snack sort of thing. What do we talk about on this show? Well, there are various things. Today, we're going to specifically talk about the Dream Operator. That's what I am. I'm the Dream Operator. I'm telling you what you should be dreaming about and not thinking about. Actually, Rush Limbaugh, I was watching him, and he says, "Let's cane this boy," out over there in Singapore. Well, I have some comments about that. Gun control, a victimless society, and this religious conviction. Right prior to my TV show, there is an hour of power. That is a religious television show. Folks, I think they should be put back on Channel 11. Religious programming should be stayed on Channel 11. They have a full channel. I mean, I don't have my full channel, so where is it? Well, I mean, you know, why can't I just speak for 24 hours a day about the religion of visual stimulation? What we talk about here is popular science sort of things. And of course, it's self-aggrandizement. I do this show for my own vanity. That's all well and good. You can do that too. You can come down here and produce your own television. I think a lot of people do. There's over 900 producers. A lot of people don't understand that there are over 900 video producers in Austin coming to Austin Access producing. I just met a lady down here just a few seconds ago. She's being evicted from her house. She wants somebody to come out and videotape a house. I told her that, hey, you're going to get in a lot of release problems and stuff like that. I want to talk about this health card thing, the big brotherness of it. A lot of things in the Congress currently are happening that I don't agree with, that we should really, be up in arms and really say something about. This health card thing and this big brother mentality of having to go to another doctor that you've been going to, and you can't go to the same doctor. I think it's, and another real problem in this latest news report about the Fourth Amendment being questioned. I can't believe that somebody is about to leave open their homes for an illegal search and seizure. That's outrageous. I don't think we should have that. If you're going to be opening up your house for illegal search and seizure for guns and all kinds of other things, then that destroys the whole idea behind the Fourth Amendment. What is going on there? And television violence. I'm going to talk a little bit about television violence. Have you noticed that there hasn't been any ongoing debate or discussion about that lately? Because the government doesn't know what to do about it. Because they even admit that they put or portrayed too much television violence about that Waco incident. So there is just too much of this insanity going on, and that's what I'm talking about today, those various subjects. So let's go back. I didn't have a lot of people argue that I don't do any service by putting on this type of television programming. I disagree with them totally, because I just recently volunteered my services to go down and videotape the forum down there at the Austin City Council. I mean, not at Austin City Council, but the Austin City Council race, that the debate between the mayors. John Henry and Zeke Holcomb went down to the Schultz's the other day and videotaped the debate. Now, the city of Austin has a channel, Channel 6, where this is free and wide open. They should go down and videotape those types of activities. But because of the political indifference between the mayor and the mayor-to-be, Slusher, whoever, and other candidates, they would feel that that was put on by the mayor, Mayor Bruce Todd. Well, I was just happened to be down at Access because I do teach video editing down here, and Pat got a call from the Chronicle, and they were putting on this activity, and they asked whether they could videotape it. Why wouldn't they go to Channel 6? Channel 6 is an Access station. They should have produced it. They should have gone down. They asked me, I said, okay, I will do it. So that is right there for the year, I think, my community service. This television show right now that you're watching, by the way, if you're not watching it currently live on a Tuesday afternoon around 2, then you're tuned in late night where I replay this tape. I just wanted to let you know that this is replayed because a lot of people want to hear what I have to say sometimes. And I get a lot of these frustrations out and they can, bother about it. But it is a live show currently right now, 2 o'clock. And if you don't see that this is blocked out, then you know that it is live. Anyway, I did that, and I helped the Chronicle. And what did they do? They didn't even bother to call me. They only bothered to call the lady that's doing an article about it. Called and said, "Can I have a copy of the tape?" And they were sponsoring it. KGSR and Access didn't have anything. I mean, KGSR went down and sponsored, and the Chronicle sponsored. Do they think that's just any Joe Schmo will go do it? No. Out of the goodness of my heart. Okay. Rush Limbaugh was talking about the caning of this young child over here. Oh, young child. It's a kid, a college student. Get real. I've been to Singapore, and I knew the rules and the laws that go on. Back in 1976, when I was there, they told us about a 12-point rattan stick that you'll be hit with if you break any of the laws, and that can have anything. That could probably, throwing a cigarette butt down on the ground in the middle of the town. Everybody and their brother knows about this. So I say, yes, this guy should be caned. We don't have any discipline in this country, and if we learn from other countries how to discipline the rest of his folks, I'm not saying dictatorial. That's what Clinton wants. He wants to have a dictatorship here. But I am saying that it is dictatorial for that country. But look at the low crime rate. We have a overabundance of crime rate because nobody knows what to do. There are no jobs. And can we blame the government? Yeah, we can blame the government for overregulation. They at least invent things and sell it to us. China, Japan, they sell all their goods to us. We can't sell them back to them because we don't have anything to sell. We don't have anything to export but death, military equipment, stuff like that. So if you want to talk about that subject, give me a call. Anyway, they are recently introduced, and I really do believe that they should cane this kid because he is an ignorant. They say even in this country there is no excuse for not knowing the law. Well, on the other hand, yeah, you have to know the law. You have to know that there are certain rules and procedures. You cannot impinge on the rights of others. This person went out and vandalized, so he's going to pay for it. He's going to pay for it worse than anything. He should have known right up front when he enters the country that they have certain laws, that they have codes, they have procedures. So he's going to be beat. That's the thing. That's what I'm talking about, is that you have to follow the rules. Sometimes the rules and the regulations that go on are, that's a whole nother shtick. We have too many rules and laws in this country. That's why we don't invent anything new, other than maybe computers. They can do all kinds of wild stuff. You know, can I say? What are they doing? Why am I here? Why do I even bother communicating with the United States or the city right here? Why do I even bother? Should just let it go. See ya. Bye. You know. But I believe that they should cane this guy. It's on, but they don't have any, you know, they have major gun control. They have major drug control there. But they don't have any problems with crime. We have all the problems with crime. Here in America, we have tons of problems with crime. But how are we going to get rid of it? Well, we need more discipline. I believe that the reason that they have so many, problems currently, even in our city, it's a small city, it's a burgeoning, it's going to become another LA in another couple of years, and I hate that, and can't go swimming and all that stuff, but hey, gun control, what can I say? We have to have it. We have to have some sort of stop. On the other hand, a lot of people say, well, hey, you have a revolution going on here, and we don't like the way Clinton's going, so I want to hold on to my gun. So it's a kind of a two-way battle. Oh, well, let's see. We got a couple of lights here. Let's take it. Go ahead, caller.
What's up, Kirk-O-Matic?
Kirk-O-Matic here. Yeah, that's what. We're doing a TV show here, man.
It's pretty cool.
You like the video art? Would you rather watch that than me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, who is this anyway? I know that voice.
What voice?
Yeah, I know this voice.
You know it?
Well, I thought I knew it.
You gotta be baked then.
Huh?
Do you dip your balls in it?
No, sometimes I do.
I do.
You do? You like this video?
Yeah, that's dipping my balls in it.
You are?
Yeah.
I know this voice. Why are you calling?
What?
Why are you calling?
Because I want to dip my balls in it.
You are probably the epitome of what's wrong with America. Is that right?
Thank you. Cool.
You are the undisciplined, victimless society. That's what you are. But wait a minute, I don't want to abuse my audience. That's my audience out there. They like to dip their balls in it. Thanks for calling anyway. We'll cut you out on the final cut of this motion picture. See, I'm producing this motion picture, and that's what's happening here. We're talking about various subjects. Gun control. Well, that's a perfect example for that one caller. We need to keep the guns out of the hands of those kind because they don't know what to do. But so we caught a couple of surfers there. They were going up and down, and they said, "Hey, let's call the dream operator." That's what it is. It's all just a dream, folks. You're just watching the dream. That's what television is. Like I was saying last week, the reason that we're not going to have interactive television is because there are too many choices available if they can enact it. They're planning on putting together a DBS system right off the direct broadcast system from the satellite. They've just put up a new satellite, so you could have digital processed television directly to your small receiving dish. And one of my criticisms of this info highway is that the reason that it will not be able to come in is because the current broadcast stations don't know how to deal with having to be able to pay for it through advertising. Because let's say I have a show over here, a show over there. I got 30 screens of all this material going on. Well, the reason that you can't control, you can control each advertisement in each square, and then fully blown, and you can watch what you want. So you could edit out. Essentially, you could edit out all the advertising, only get the programming. Well, currently, that's what they're trying to figure out. How can we plug that damn advertising in there? Now, I'm not going to, cut down all the advertising. I think we have too much, Ford Truck Month every month. Especially in Austin, it's always Ford Truck Month. It's crazy. Anyway, we got a couple of goofy surfers down here, so let's take a couple of them. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Kirk.
Yeah.
I just flipped on. I'm kind of confused.
You're confused. You're confused.
Well, when I flipped it on, you screamed out you want to dip your balls in it, and then you talked about not giving guns to certain people. What was that about?
Well, you're a perfect example of why we're having gun control, because you are uncontrollable. You want to dip your balls in the end of a gun.
What?
Yeah, that's what you want to do.
I want
Essentially,
to
you don't have enough brains to handle a gun, much less your balls.
At least I got the brains not to wear those shades.
Oh, these are cool shades. Don't mess with my shades, man.
No, I just want to dip my balls in them.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't even think you could hold them up with this. These glasses wouldn't even hold them, would they?
No, those are cool, but
It's a cool show. That's why you're calling it, man. I'm the dream operator. You're just dreaming about dipping your balls in it. Thanks for calling, man, and call me back and come up with something better. Hey, you got to be better than that. You got to be a better caller than that, man. Golly, what is this, a personal phone line for you? This is not for you. That's exactly what I was talking about, gun control. Keep the guns out of your... Go ahead, caller.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, I'm glad I don't have any balls.
So what are you calling in the afternoon? It's a sunny day. It's a beautiful day to be outside. You should be out at the lake, not watching the dream operator.
Well, I sprained my ankle, so what better thing to do than to watch your show?
Oh, well, how sweet. Well, you know, I'm kind of, you know, a rock and a hard place. Some people want the revolution to happen. Other people believe that we should have the gun control. What did you want to talk about today?
I want to talk about the mayoral candidate.
Oh, that should be an interesting thing. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay, I talked to Daryl Slusher.
You did?
And he is very pro public access.
Well, that's great.
And I just want people who think that your show is interesting, which I do. I think you're a genius.
It's pretty wild stuff today, huh?
No, not necessarily, but I mean, I just think you're a genius with this.
Well, I appreciate that.
You are.
Well, I want to be able to have this on maybe the broadcast stations.
Well, yeah.
One of these days, the dream operator should be on the broadcast stations.
Well, I just hope that people who watch your program will have enough sense.
I think they should vote for Slusher.
I do too. He's very pro-access. He's very progressive. He's a sensitive gentleman.
Okay.
And he's sort of one of us. And if we don't want to see Austin become like Houston...
I see it out there on the end of Mopac, at the end of Lamar, every day down there. It's turning into a friggin' L.A. As far as I'm concerned.
That's right, and Bruce Todd is certainly in the pocket of the developers.
Why did he, I mean, well, you know what, the other thing that I have a problem with, only, you know, minimal problem with Slusher, is that he seems to, you know, talk in this monotone. And I noticed, I watched on a KBBO show that Bruce Todd, he's a professional. He's a real professional.
You know what? Bruce Todd has the money. He's slick.
Yeah, he's slick.
So what? I don't care whether...
He's a slick... Well, I'm saying all the conservative folks out there are going to vote for him because they're allowing them to destroy Austin.
Watch your show anyway?
Huh?
The conservative folks, the reactionaries, don't watch your show anyway.
The conservative folks don't?
No.
No, I think they kind of check in just to make sure that they're, you know, checking out what's going on the television.
Well, I mean, we know about using this medium. The point is, so what if Daryl Slusher talks in a monotone? He's a good human being. He's a decent man. He's real down to earth. He's not taking money from a bunch of slick developers. So if
the developers have the control of this city. Well, obviously, look at the streets being torn up down there on Lamar.
Well, yeah, but that's just minimum. I mean, actually, it's about a plan that's been in effect a long time with the big money interest, the real estate interest by the politicians.
It's a politician's town.
Well, Slusher is not a politician. He was a reporter, a journalist for the Chronicle, and he's a good human being. His wife, Adela, used to have one of the best Spanish language programs on ACTV.
Really?
And he's just really a decent person.
So they're really pro-access.
Oh,
they want to get that medium out there.
You betcha.
So how did that program go when you recorded and I didn't show up?
Oh, let's don't talk about that. I'm just getting over forgiving you.
Hmm.
But no, it was a wonderful program. Thanks to some other Access producers who pitched in because they couldn't come.
And you're playing it over and over.
Well, I hope so. So far, I haven't seen it play on ACTV, but they say they're going to have it on.
Yeah.
Because I did ask him some specific questions about bicyclers' rights, Brackenridge Hospital.
Well, that's good. That's good. You got some real points out there.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So, okay, dear heart, you're wonderful.
I'm glad you like the video art. That's the whole display of this. I'm trying to do this as a community service and at the same time show some video art.
What's interesting?
That's what the dream operator is all about. Everybody's just a dream.
Just a dream. Bye-bye.
Thank you. See, now that's a decent caller. We got all these other idiots out there that want to abuse the system. Well, yeah, it's their right. They can do that. I'll take another call. Go ahead, turn down your television.
I would like to dip my balls in it.
Why are you still there, is the question.
Because I still would like.
Why don't you just go into the bathroom and do that? God darn. Go ahead, caller.
How you doing?
How you doing?
All right. I wanted to talk about the caning situation.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm all for it. I've been to Singapore. I know the laws that exist.
I've already heard what you said, and I've been there too, and I've been around Southeast Asia, and you got to realize that some of these countries, and especially a conservative place like Singapore, there's no real due process.
No, there isn't. They're not giving him the chance to rebut?
Well, I'll say that there's a possibility he was tortured into confessing that he did it.
But the question is, did he do it?
Yeah, that's the question. So should they go ahead and beat him on an assumption?
Oh, now wait a minute.
He confessed, but was he coerced?
Coerced. Yeah, well, now that's another question altogether.
Right.
How long is the process between when he was caught and to the day that he's going to be caned?
I don't know, but he was hospitalized at one time.
Oh, he was hospitalized because he was probably coerced, and so he didn't have any. He didn't get any outside lawyer. That's one thing that's really unclear. But if he, I'm just going by on the assumption that he was definitely caught in the act.
No, he wasn't. He was accused, and then
he was accused, and then he was coerced.
Right. From what
well, then I would be totally against that. But I think that government should have, you know, like you say, due process and some evidence that he actually did it.
They've rejected the Western notion that they don't consider our Constitution something that they could learn from. And
I see. Well, then I'm totally against that. I have to admit, I'm totally against that. I think that, you know, if he was actually caught, and that's the assumption that most Americans are, that if he was caught in the actual event of doing the vandalism, sure, let's cane this guy.
Yeah, well, I'll go along with that. But I think I think they could at least reduce the amount of whacks that he gets, because it is such a debilitating thing. I mean,
well, I was told that, you know, if you throw a cigarette butt down in the middle of town and you get caught by the police,
oh yeah,
you can get 12 raps on the back, not by a cane, but a cat of nine tails or something like that. Well, and that's just like walking into the country. You get this like folder of all the things that you got to watch out for, because it's an extremely clean city.
Yeah.
As opposed to like Austin's turning into.
Well, I tell you, I remember that somebody like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young or Santana wasn't allowed into the country because of the length of their hair. You know?
Yeah.
So
oh
that
my
gives you an
goodness.
indication of why you shouldn't go there. I don't know why the kid was there in the first place.
That's yeah. You know? Well, he was probably wasn't he going to college or something? Wasn't he going to school or something?
I think his stepmother lived there.
Uh-huh.
And he had to go spend the summer with him or something.
Well, he should have been told that there are some major differences between living there and here.
Man, in the Philippines, we went through jungle checkpoints and stuff. You know,
yeah.
I had a joint in my pocket. I read in the paper that a woman got 99 years for selling a joint undercover.
Yeah.
And they also found rolling papers in her house. Ain't that a shame, you know?
Total different culture there.
And I shouldn't have been there, especially with something like that on me, so I destroyed it, you know. But you got to follow the rules over there. And
you got to be careful. That's
and
true.
like Officer Boatwright has always told me, if you don't understand the law, that's no excuse, you know.
That's true. That's what they say.
And we all need to be lawyers.
You gotta be a lawyer.
Bless us all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate your call.
That's about it.
Thanks a lot. Smart caller. Yeah. Well, I didn't understand that they did not say what that over the television. Of course, the media can be blamed for part of this too, as well. Go ahead, caller.
Hello?
Yeah.
I say they cane that dude.
I think they should too.
I mean, that's bullshit. They should just cane him, because you get caught doing that. I think America would have a whole lot less problems nowadays if they would take actions like they do over here, because there's a lot of kids running around nowadays.
I agree.
They're doing stuff.
They have no discipline. They grow up without any discipline. That's why we have so many problems with the gangs and the kids and all the the guns at school, the drugs at school. That's why they have nothing to do. That's why that's the main problem. If they have a direction, if they were taught something in school that they could have a direction for, then yeah.
A difference between right and wrong, because over there you get lashes. Here you might get arrested. You get taken downtown, you get out 2 hours later, and they're free to go.
That doesn't teach you anything.
Over there, you get your ass beat 6 or 7 times, you get permanent scars, you're going to think twice before you go out and vandalize somebody's car.
Right. They get to a point where if you get caught stealing, they'll take a finger.
That's what they should do here, too.
That's what they do in Turkey. They'll take a finger. And if you get caught stealing again, they'll take the whole hand.
I'd say take both hands.
Yeah, they'll maim you. That's the difference between the culture. Our culture is so free and flying free and easy that anything goes.
Exactly.
It's just like this art. Anything goes. But on the other hand, we got to figure out a way to still discipline. I think they ought to bring back the paddle for school discipline.
Well, I went to a school where they could paddle you, and I went to a parochial school and.
Wait a minute. Currently?
No, I went to. Last year.
Last year, 93?
Yeah. And they could battle you, and it stopped a lot of problems. Because I went to a public school for a while where you got referrals, and you get sent down to the principal's office, nothing happened.
How many whacks on the butt with a paddle?
It depended on what you did, but...
Let's say you were nasty in class or something.
3 or 4.
3 or 4? What about... you were late for class.
Late for class, you got different punishments for late for class, but it was...
What about T-shirts and haircuts?
T-shirts or haircuts, there was a dress code. You couldn't wear anything vulgar.
But what if you did bring, you wore it underneath, you brought it and you wore it?
You get sent home. Immediately, your parents would be called, you get sent home. But like if you're disrespectful to an elder, like to your teacher, you got sent down to the office.
Do you get a whack?
Yeah, I mean, and it stopped a lot of problems before they started.
Is this a public school or is it?
No, this was a private school.
Oh, okay. Well, see, maybe they say they want a little more discipline going on.
Yeah, and there was, and I don't know. I don't know, but I think that dude should get caned because they didn't coerce.
I think it would teach America how something. I mean, he may be just an example.
Exactly. I don't know, but I don't think he got coerced. And
you don't think so?
No, they caught him.
The media actually is not out for any. Yeah. Okay.
No, they caught the dude. And
they caught him, and he's a vandal, and they got him.
He did it, and you needed.
Well, I think we need a little more discipline in our public system because these kids are getting away with murder. They're bringing guns to class. Can you imagine? I mean, you were going to a private school. Did they bring?
Nope.
They didn't bring guns.
No.
Did they have some kind of metal detector?
No, they didn't have any of that. They just didn't have any guns. But they did have. Yeah, they did have. They had a drug bust last year.
Yeah.
They had some
undercover agents.
They were having some drugs brought into the school, and they brought in the cops, and they searched the entire parking lot.
Yeah.
And police dogs and everything. If your car was found with anything in it, or if you were found with anything in the school, everybody got kicked out on the spot, no questions asked, and it took care of a lot of the problems. So, it was pretty cool, but
that's a private school. Now, what we need is more of that in public
schools. Yeah, for the majority of the students. So, I don't know. But anyway.
I agree.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
I'm glad you called.
Appreciate it.
I like your point of view.
Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Now see, on some other day, this caller will end up on the videotape because, hey, he didn't abuse the system and talk about that nasty stuff. But he might call me later on another show. And, well, anyway, it's a good point of view because this viewer is young. He's a part of the, you know, the going to college, the coming out of the public or the private education system. Go ahead, caller.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a 19-year-old caller,
Mm-hmm.
and my father,
Yeah.
I really think that he helped me out a lot with that same kind of disciplinary action.
Well, now, did he whip you?
No, once it wasn't really
He just kind of laid down the law at the very beginning.
Yeah, I got this dog, and I promised that I'd take care of it, but one day I forgot to feed it, so he gave me like 5 lashes, and I never forgot again.
Well, that's not. See, now that's one of the things that maybe the parents are letting the school system take over some of that, and that's what the argument is.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just like as I grew up, it kind of developed. Like once I skipped school, and he found out, and he cut off my pinky, and
He cut off your pinky
yeah, and then once he
like
came with
this.
some pot, and he cut off my foot.
He cut off your foot, and then now you're just a stump, huh? That's a great caller. Sorry I had to edit you out there. You'll probably end up on the editing room floor. Go ahead, caller.
All right. Yeah, I think that guy was trying to make a point. I mean, in Iran, if you are late, street vendors are late with their yearly permits or hung in public. I mean, how far do you want to go with
Well, that's gone. No, I don't believe in lowering the population level because of this. I think a simple whack on the bottom will give you a real good indication that there is some sort of discipline going on.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying no. I mean, that's a different culture. That's how they,
Yeah, and in Singapore, I wonder how many people who think that's such a great place to live would actually want to live there.
No, that's going to lower their tourism big time. I'm not going there ever again. If there's, it's a beautiful city. It's undoubtedly, just a fantastic place to visit for a short amount of time. But if you get to know the place and then you find, there is a lot of, obviously they have crime, and this is what they do.
They pay a high price for clean streets.
Sure.
My point is there's a difference between discipline and punishment. I think
Okay. Go ahead.
I graduated from Killeen from a school in Killeen in 1980, and they had corporal punishment all the way up through high school.
Yeah.
And it was a big joke. I mean, basically you had the choice. If whatever you did wrong, I mean, of a minor offense, you had the choice between 3 licks from the vice principal or 3 days D-Hall. And for a kid who doesn't have a car and lives a long way from school, what do you think your choice is going to be?
You're going to take...
You're going to take the licks.
Sure.
And the licks are a joke because they can't really, they can't physically abuse you. They can only give you that
But
spat on
I
the
think it serves as that type of punishment serves as a reminder. You're not going to do it again, or you're going to remember to, what? Not wear a T-shirt, get the haircut, not bring guns and drugs into school. I think that's a good sort of punishment. Yeah, it's like a Band-Aid, but at least it reminds a kid at such a young age that, hey, they whip you for these things.
Yeah. Well, I kind of thought, I thought not much of it. I mean, I didn't have really opinion one way or the other. And now I have a 5-year-old girl, a little girl.
Right. Are you whipping her?
No, I don't whip her.
Okay.
I did it
But does she get away with murder? See, my brother has 2. I have 2 nephews, and they get away with murder. They're controlling their parents. They have no discipline on them.
Well, when she was
after they get older, they're going to be really in sad shape.
Well, that's what I mean. When she was 2 and 3 years old in the terrible 2s, where she just completely defied everything. There was a lot of impulsive spanking, like grab them by the arm and spank them right there.
Sure. You should do that. I mean, even all the books and all the studies say this.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole point, my whole point was it never really, all it did is it made her want to take a swing at me when she'd get mad. She'd come over and sort of swing her arm. She knows that she
You got a
do it.
teacher who's daddy.
Well, that's true, but there are other ways to do that. My point is, discipline does not mean physical punishment. Discipline can mean, especially if you start at a young age, you got to start taking these damn TV video games and stuff away from them.
I agree. Yeah, they get less sugar, right?
Yeah. I mean, kids have so many luxuries these days.
Oh, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah.
That's what really blows my mind is that they have 10 times, they're spoiled rotten.
Yeah, they really are. And I'll admit my kid is too. I mean, she's an only child. And
Sure.
I tried. So then now she's a little bit older and she understands. You can reason with her a little bit more. And I explained to her what's going to happen. And of course,
because the world is tougher and tougher.
Are there. And whipping her on the butt. I think she.
It's just a reminder.
It's an impulse on my part. When I get mad, I may do it, but it's not really anything that she learned. All she learns is that when you get mad, you hit somebody. I mean, that's really all she gets from it, in my opinion.
I think that we need, as a society, a little more discipline. I think that's what that caning incident is all about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's showing America that
call.
we're totally worthless here.
Talk to you later.
Thanks a lot for calling.
Hello.
Go ahead, caller.
Is that me there, Brother Gary?
That's you on the access station.
I never thought that anybody couldn't improve their disposition with a little swat on the bottom.
I think you should take your two young girls and you should swat them on the bottom every time they don't adhere to that wonderful playland that they live in.
When I was in military school at the academy, and I was bumping my tennis shoes on the windowsill before an inspection, and Captain MacDougall summoned me down to his quarters, and he said, "Now, boy, you woke me up out of my sleep. Would you like to bend over and grab your ankles?" And he started whipping that thin cane over me.
Wasn't that big, that Schwarzkopf tornado?
He said, "Now, how many lashes would you like? Would you like 10 lashes or 1? And I said, "1, sir." He said, "I'll give you 10 that'll feel a whole lot better than that 1.
How you doing?
Good, you?
Just fine.
Hey, you know what? If nothing else, this incident in Singapore has made people wake up about the benefits of corporal punishment.
What do you believe that our young children that are going to the public system don't get any discipline during that 8 hours that they're at school?
Well, now, when
I mean, are you called to school as a parent to discipline your child because they brought a gun or didn't wear the right hairdo or something like that?
Well, little kids, and I love them, but, you can talk to them all day long, but they're just not conceptually oriented. They need a little smack on the bottom from time to time. I don't mean beat them or hurt them.
Right.
I just mean a little...
Well, some parents took it to a limit because they either became alcoholic or they had problems of their own. It could have been an economic thing. That's what happened.
And this guy over in Singapore for spray painting all those cars, damn right, lash that bastard.
I think so too. I agree.
I don't think that...
I think we need to whack his butt.
And they don't have to, kill him.
No.
Give him a little whap on the bottom. I'd rather get a little whap on the bottom than spend 4 months in prison.
I agree.
And if
I'd rather have that. Yeah, now that's what you get at school. You either take the detention or you go to or you get your whap on the butt. Now, I'd much rather take a whap on my butt and get a couple of scars for it and then, come home and say, "Hey, I'm a hero."
And also, what that guy ought to do, instead of have his mommy walk around in and out of the courthouse over there in Singapore, is be working on his butt muscles. By doing deep knee bends in the cell or whatever. So when he gets those lashes, he can handle it,
I agree totally. I agree totally.
Good show.
Take it easy. Surfing the line. We got a lot of surfers going up and down. Hey, it's a beautiful day. You should be out at the lake. We're talking a little about that caning incident, but, what can I say? Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, man?
What are y'all talking about?
Oh, we're talking about all kinds of things. We're talking about the caning incident, the gun control. We're talking about religious convictions. We're talking about there is no discipline in the schools. We're talking about the health card. We're talking about the Fourth Amendment and illegal search and seizure. We're talking about all kinds of pop science here.
What about that curfew they have now?
They have a curfew?
Yeah.
I haven't heard about that. Are you for the curfew?
Yeah.
Don't you think they ought to have a curfew?
No, I think it's kind of messed up.
Well, now, what they mean by curfew is, what, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock? What are children doing out at that time? When I was a kid, hey, you came in at 10 and you watched the news and that was it. Why do you have to be out at late night? What are you doing?
Out there drinking and having fun and all that.
No, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be in the house studying, because I tell you, in the near future, if you don't study and hit the books, you're not going to be a viable anything. Are you expecting the government to help you in the future?
Nah, sorry, I don't need no help.
You don't need any help.
No.
I see. You got it all locked up.
Yeah, I'm kind of wacko, you know that?
That's too bad. You should really do some self-help.
Nah, it's just that I'm a gang member and all that. And,
Yeah.
And they forced me to do stuff and all that stuff.
You need to turn down your TV a little bit. The reason that you're in the situation that you are is because you don't read books. You don't gather knowledge. You don't want to learn anything. You really need to do that in order to survive, in this world. I mean, if you plan on surviving, It's interesting that you call in. I appreciate you calling.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
That's one thing that I wish, this program or any of the live programs for Access could really reach out and say, hey, if you're a gang member, you should try to get out of the gang. You should go maybe do a little more study down at the library. Don't spend time down with your buddies on the corner trying to, get high and drinking beer and stuff like that, because it's not going to help you. When you eventually, turn the age of college age, you're going to, look at your elders and you're going to say, hey, it's about time I start studying for a better life so I can have children, so I can have, continue on in this world. That's the point of life. Now, if you have a death wish, like Kurt Cobain, and you don't care about life, then that's the direction that you're headed. Then you should go talk to Dr. Kevorkian. But it's an unfortunate situation, these gangs, and I really don't have any answer other than one of the reasons that we have them is because there's no early discipline. The father leaves, the mother, they divorce, something happens along the line, and that's what it's responsibility of all society to figure out something, to do something about it. But it's an unfortunate. It's a self-help. It's both directions. You can choose to go the direction that you are. The curfew is a reason that government comes down on it. But on the other hand, you have the ability to go over to the library. These libraries are free. You can study there. Study about engineering. Study about something. And then, try to get an education. And then go out and get a better job, rather than just, looking at your future as 7-Eleven. That's the problem here. Go ahead, caller.
Am I on?
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
Speak up.
In my opinion, the problem is it starts at home.
Yeah?
It starts at home.
Sure.
I'm a stay-at-home mother with a 2-year-old son, and when he was old enough to get up and start walking, he was old enough to get popped. And that's the way it should be.
Sure, discipline.
That's right. And as for the guy that gets caning,
yeah,
I think he needs to be caned over there, and when he comes back to the United States, he should go to prison for a couple months for disgracing the United States the way he did.
Oh, as an ambassador to the United States.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. I mean,
sure.
I don't believe you should just get
You pop your children every time you can.
No. I'm not saying that. There's a three-strike rule in my house.
Oh, okay. Well, at least you have some kind of rule going down.
There's a rule. You get 3 warnings, and if you're, if the 3rd warning doesn't work, then the pop will get your attention.
What about the situation at school?
In school, by the time my son gets to school, he will be taught at home. I'm scared to death for my sister and brother-in-law that are in school, in middle school, and they're in school in Dallas, and it's like it's unbelievable how many kids can get guns and take them to school. My son will not go to school. I don't believe that by the time he gets ready for school, that it'll be safe enough for him to go to school.
Private school. You have to take them to a private school and make sure that they have some kind of metal detector. I know, it's a sick society. We got a real problem.
He will be taught at home when he's old enough to go to school. I don't think I will be brave enough to send him to school to see if he's going to make it
self-taught
throughout the year.
Well, there you go.
You know, and
hopefully they won't end up in gangs.
I hope not.
I appreciate your call.
Thank you.
Well, we kind of changed directions. Everybody's kind of wanting to talk about that caning incident. Go ahead.
Well, I think a lot of people have really forgotten that maybe when they were kids, how many houses did they have? You know, how many trees?
I remember when I was a kid, we had all kinds of, freedoms, but, I didn't have the options of playing video games all day.
Well, no, I'm just saying, we're talking about the caning.
Sure.
They're going to whip a guy for spray painting a car.
Sure.
And, we've all played pranks before in our lives, and, you talk about shoplifting and cutting their finger off. A lot of kids, they learn better by the time they got older, but a lot of kids experimented with things like that.
Mm-hmm.
How many maimed and scarred children we have running around the United States if we had laws like this?
Yeah.
So that's all I can say.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. We don't have enough laws. I think we just don't have enough information. If you go out and spray paint, you should really, work toward maybe having an art gallery opening with your spray paint art. That's what maybe the gang members should do. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, I think that the United States of America would be a better place if they legalized weed.
Maybe so. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, I was just wanting to call in and have a little information. Cause, I think people need to get a little more practicing and self-discipline with their children. Teach your kids a little more about self-discipline.
Sure, that's the whole problem right there.
And I don't believe that teachers should be the one to discipline kids for bringing guns to schools because they're just setting themselves up.
I don't see how they get a hold of these guns unless they're selling them at school and having to have that type of protection at school. If they have to have that type of protection at school, they've got a real problem in the schools.
And if we also controlled ammunition a little bit more, then they wouldn't.
Sure. Why not? Do it.
And teachers in the independent school districts should not be the ones to discipline these
No.
kids.
Let's get the police down there and do a major search. That is a public property, and you can search public property. That doesn't come under the Fourth Amendment. What my argument was is at those housing districts up there in Chicago, I don't believe that they should do illegal searches.
No.
Yeah.
I think they ought to, in the independent school district,
Yeah.
should invest in metal detectors in the schools, number one, to protect the students and the teachers. I mean,
they're not doing it unless they have metal detectors.
Do what now?
They're not doing it unless they have metal detectors. They need to have metal detectors at the door, and police.
Right. Exactly right.
They should.
They should have.
But they're not spending the money at that because they're not in the business of doing that. That's a part of the freedom. That's one thing that's kind of a rock and a hard place.
Well, maybe the city council needs to offer some kind of a new tax reform.
Sure. Maybe they could hire some people.
If you want your kids to be protected in school, then let's get some more
bodyguards. Do I have to have a bodyguard to go to school?
Exactly. I mean,
that's insane. Absolutely insane.
But the teachers, they're just setting themselves up for trouble when they go to even try to discipline. That kid will go back down on the street, get him another gun, say, "Well, I'll go take care of that teacher's ass," and come back to school and shoot him. It's ridiculous.
Don't want to go to school if that's the way. Don't want to go to school.
Don't want to deal with it. But, I have a 2-year-old boy, and I know when I was a kid, I made some wrong turns in my life.
Right. Did you discipline him? Are you disciplining him?
Yes, I do discipline my child.
See, that's the way it ought to be.
I use the timeout method most of the time. If he steps over that line, then I will get me a switch off the tree, and I'll tell you what, people may not believe in physical discipline. I don't believe that the hands are for discipline. I believe the hands are for loving. But
it's a tough question.
I will take a switch off a tree.
Sure.
When I spank him, he may not.
Sure, I think you should, but don't over-abuse that privilege because of everything that's a mistake that wasn't before.
Exactly.
That's the question. Well, I appreciate your call.
Okay.
We'll get after some other callers. I guess what we're talking about today, the Dream Operator is talking about today, various subjects about this caning incident. My goodness, I didn't realize that we have no discipline. Well, I think maybe the other reason that we don't have any discipline in America is because our government, our current government, is not even disciplining themselves. I mean, how could any whitewater get involved if that was the situation? It's insane. It's absolutely insane. We'll take another caller. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, dude, why don't you lighten up a little? You're just bitching about everything. I mean, seriously. I haven't heard you say, like, one positive thing. You've been bitching about government, about, like,
well, some of the direction that some of the callers bring up are, yeah, mostly negative. Do you have any positive things?
Well, like...
Does the media cause you to feel this way, maybe?
I could, like, teach you how to relax. Do you have, like, a bong handy? Just load yourself.
It's illegal activity, guy. That's the thing. I lighten up when I go out to the lake and, you know, can relax out there.
Kirk, I got a quick question.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get some feedback on it. How
Sure.
many days does an employer have to pay you if they fire you?
Within 2 weeks, I hear.
I heard it was 7 days, but I'm not sure. The thing of it is they told me that when I got terminated, they're going to hold my check until I move out of the property, until I move off the property that you're employed by. You understand what I'm saying?
I think it's they have 2-week notification. Do you have to leave within a
See,
specific?
we pay our regular rent, but we work for the company that gives you, say for instance, you're working for the property like a maintenance person.
Yeah.
And then you're living on that same property that you're maintaining, but your employer is holding your check because they fired you and saying that you got to move off first before we pay you.
So did you move?
No, we're still here.
No. You got to move.
But we pay normal rent.
You pay no more rent and you got to move.
We pay normal rent.
Oh, you pay normal rent, but they say that you have to move because you've been fired.
Right.
Because you're a part. That's a part of the contract.
Supposedly. But
I thought it was 2 weeks.
Yeah, but there's no contract signed.
They told me that it was 2 weeks. Well, and within that time, they cut you a check. And if that's a part of the contract that they set with you, be it oral or written, then that's what I believe.
But what if everybody?
So you've been fired recently?
Yeah. What if everybody gets paid? Say, for instance, this Friday pay period, everybody's going to be getting paid except us. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I need to find out. Maybe another.
You can call the Texas Employment.
We just did. We got something set up for tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, that's a community service. Relax, man. Relax. Go ahead, caller. We don't answer everything. You're just dreaming. That's all. You're just dreaming. Go ahead, caller.
Kirk, I think you need to be caned. You promised me 2 weeks ago you would be caned.
I need a caning. They need to cane me.
You promised me you wouldn't bring up Waco anymore, and you.
I keep bringing that thing up. It's because I'm frustrated. I want answers from the government. Can I not have answers?
What answers do you want that you have?
I want an investigation of that place. You know, turn down your television. The reason is because you know in your heart that the ATF, their business is to study and find the 0 point of where the fire was started. Instead, they rolled over with tanks, putting the fire out. That's my only beef.
It wasn't the ATF's job to find out where the fire started.
Yeah, that's their job. It's in their charter. Have you ever read the charter for the ATF?
But for the sake of
alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, they go in after a fire is started at businesses all across this nation, and they find the ground zero point of where fires are started and find the evidence of how it started. That's the modern-day conundrum of the whole situation. The conflict of interest is that this is a religious fight.
And that's why the ATF didn't do that after the place burned down.
Why didn't they leave the evidence open?
Well, the reason that they didn't do it is because there would have been a blatant conflict of interest there.
That's why I have no belief in the current Congress. There is no investigation. Why trust somebody like that? Why? Why should you? Huh?
Please.
Okay, we'll go on to another subject. Go ahead. I'm caned. Slap this boy. Slap your monkey.
Caning.
Huh?
It's caning, man. By all means, man.
You need a caning.
Whoop his butt.
Whoop that guy. I believe it. I think they ought to whoop this guy's butt.
I mean, it seems to me like we're living in a society where everybody wants everyone else to behave responsibly, yet...
Sure, because you're impinging on my rights. Right now, I'm impinging on somebody's rights to be on the channel. Everybody's watching me. They ain't watching NBC.
You know, it's to the point now where people can't smoke. You know, and
Yeah, the government's coming down with a big, heavy hand, and you may not know it, but hey, soon you will not be able to smoke, eat, or carry a gun.
No, please, not gun control either.
Sure.
Oh, it's coming, and it's unfortunate, but...
Unfortunate? Aren't you going to be up in arms about it? You're not going to care? You're going to be a, what is it, what are they, lemurs? What are you going to be, a lemur, a little squirrel monkey, and go over the cliff? I don't think so. I don't want to be no squirrel monkey, man. I want to put my sunglasses on, sit out there in the sun, kick back and relax, and be the dream operator.
Until people start voting and...
I don't vote because guess what? The government asks me every 3 months to become a jury operator. I don't want to do that.
Well,
so I'm not voting.
First of all, I mean, it does you no good.
Convince me.
It does you no good now with that motor voter deal. It's, you know, do you have a driver's license, Kirk?
Sure.
They can call you for jury duty. You have no reason now, no excuse not to register to vote.
Well, they know, by this time, every judge in this town knows that I'm quite radical.
And I don't disagree that there aren't very many choices when you do go to vote. But if you don't vote, I don't think you have any right to criticize or complain.
Sure, you can be an outsider. You can be an outsider. You could be a world citizen, just like Janet Reno is.
That was a veiled shot. You're doing it to me again, Kirk.
Hey, do you work for the government? Do you know?
As a matter of fact, I do. That doesn't. The whole thing is people don't want to take responsibility for their actions.
Sure.
Yet they're complaining that there's all this crime.
Well, no, that might be minimal. You know, the statistics are really, low. I mean, I believe it. But we get hyped up by the media. The media doesn't do its job. It's supposed to be a watchdog. It doesn't do its job. That's my major criticism. There's a lot of media that says these things are going to happen, like the Info Highway and Ford Truck Month. Isn't there a problem here? Isn't there a problem here?
Well, if you want somebody to defend the media, you've got the wrong person.
I don't want to defend the media.
I can't remember the last time they did something right.
Uh-huh.
You know, to me, in my mind, it's got to be one way or the other. Take Nixon, for example. If Nixon was such a bad guy 20 years ago, how come he's being eulogized now?
Well, a lot of people still believe that he's a crook.
No, I think it's got to be one way or the other. You know, the media's portraying Nixon now. I haven't seen anything negative about Nixon at all since the man passed away.
Yeah, there's little talk about Watergate. Yes, I agree.
I'm not claiming that people should beat the drums and go jump on the man's grave. I believe he's dead. That's fine.
Sure.
But all I've seen is what a great statesman Nixon was, and
he was.
I agree with
I have two-way street on this guy. You know, at the very beginning, I believed that he was really, forthright, wanted to stop the Vietnam War. Then when Watergate came out, I totally thought that he was a crook. Now, after he's dead, let's have the white papers out on him. Let's see those things.
Well, they're going to come out.
Sure.
And one thing I haven't.
Government is very slow to act, and we are speeding up as a society. That's one of the other problems.
Well, one thing I really haven't heard many people mention is Nixon fought for years, every effort to make those tapes public.
Yeah.
He's been fighting that tooth and nail for years, and now they're finally, starting to become available. And it's, I'm ready to give up. I've decided I'm moving to Trinidad. Lay in a hammock, grow
kicking
bananas,
back.
and shoot those.
Yeah, but see, I want to be up on the satellite as the dream operator and have my own channel. But I'm slowly degrading here into other religious TV now. I've got to go back to religious TV.
What authorization does the dream operator get?
Huh?
What power and authorization does the dream operator get? That's what's got me.
Well, you'll have to read up on it. It's a little-known fact from filmmakers. I've got to go and set the old P.O. box so you can write me. Unfortunately, it's the end of the show, folks.
Okay, I appreciate your time, Kirk.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Take it easy. Thanks, callers. We got to go set some other good stuff.
Thank you for watching The Dream Operator.
How you doing, man?
All right, I just got out of my meeting early, so I thought I'd drive by and see you.
You see how we do it?